The Wedding by James Shirley. Dramatis Personae, Sir John Belfer, the Boyford, a passionate lover of Gratiana. Marwood, a friend to Beaufort. Rabone, a thin citizen. Lodon, a fat gentleman. Justice Lambye, Captain Lambye, his nephew. Isaac, Sir John Belfer's man. Haver, a young gentleman, lover of Mistress Jane, disguised under the name of Jasper. Chameleon, Rawbone's man, physician. Surgeon, parkkeeper. Ralph, his servants and officers. Gratiana, Sir John Belfer's daughter. Jane, Justice's daughter. And Lucibel, Cardona's daughter, but disguised as a young man under the name of Millicent, and servant to Mistress Jane, Cardona, Gratiana's maid. In the actors' names: Richard Perkins, Michael Bauer, John Sumner, William Robbins, William Sherlock, Anthony Turner, William Allen, William Wilbraham, John Young, John Dobson, Hugh Clark, John Page, Edward Rogers, Timothy Reed. The scene is London, Act 1, Scene 1. A room in John Belfer's house. Enter Belfer and Isaac his man. Servants pass over the stage with provision. Belfer, well done, my masters. You bestir yourselves. I see we shall feast tomorrow. Servants, your worship shall want no woodcocks at the wedding. Isaac, thou hast as many as thou canst carry, and 13 to the last dozen. Belfer, Isaac, sir. Belfer, have you been careful to invite those friends you had direction for? Isaac, yes, sir. No, sir. Your worship shall want no woodcocks at the wedding. Woodcock was a cant term for a fool. Hence, Isaac's reply to the servant, well, in one of his letters mentions a humorous application of the word by the Lord Chancellor Egerton, having invited a new recorder of London to dinner to give him joy of his office, and having a great woodcock pie served in about the end of the repast, which had been sent from Cheshire. He said, now, Master Recorder, you are welcome to a common council. Isaac, yes, sir. I have been in continual motion ever since I rose. I have not said my prayers today. Belfer, we shall want no guests then. Isaac, I have commanded most of them. Belfer, how, sir? Isaac, I have bid them, sir. There is 2 in my list will not fail to dine with you. Belfer, who are they? Isaac, Master Rawbone, the young usurer. Belfer, oh, he is reported a good trencher man. He has a tall stomach. He shall be welcome. Isaac, they say he has made an obligation to the devil. If ever he eat a good meal at his own charge, his soul is forfeit. Belfer, how does he live? Isaac, upon his money, sir. Belfer, he does not eat it. Isaac, no, the devil choke him. If it were a golden age, if all the usurers in London should have no other diet, he has a thin gut waits upon him. I think one of his bastards begot upon a spider. I hope to live to see them both drawn through a ring. Belfer, who is the other? Isaac, the other may be known too. The barrel of Heidelberg was the pattern of his belly. Master Lodom, sir. The Belfer, he is a great man indeed. Isaac, something given to the waist, for he lives with no reasonable compass, I am sure. Belfer, they will be well met, Isaac, but very ill matched to draw a coach. Note, he has a tall stomach, meaning great, stout. The word is so frequently used in this sense as to render any examples of it unnecessary. The barrel of Heidelberg was the pattern of his belly. This barrel, or tun, as it is also called, is perpetually alluded to by our old dramatists. It is said to have held 204 tons and to have been always full of the best Rhenish wine. Currier gives a most elaborate account of it. Yet, at provender, there will be scarce an oat between the lean jade and the fat gelding. Belfer, how lives he? Isaac, religiously, sir. For he that feeds well must by consequence live well. He holds none can be damned but lean men. For fat men, he says, must needs be saved by the faith of their body. Enter Beaufort and Captain Landy. Belford, Master Beaufort, and Captain Lamb. Isaac, call forth my daughter. Beaufort, Sir John, I hope you make no stranger of me tomorrow. I shall change my title for your son, soon as the holy rites shall make me the happy husband to your daughter. In the meantime, it will become me. Wait on her. For I possess nothing but in trust for thee. Tiana makes all thine. Captain, I shall presume to follow. Belfort, your friendship, noble captain, to Master Beaufort, makes your person most welcome. But do no other merit, pray enter. Heaven hath already crowned my gray hairs that live to see my daughter married to a noble husband, the envy of our time, an exact pattern of a gentleman as hopeful as the spring. I am grown proud even in my age. Scene 2. The street before Belfort's house, enter Isaac, followed by Marwood. Marwood doth hear, Sirrah. Isaac, I, Sirrah. Is Master Beaufort within, Isaac? No, sir. Marwood, I was informed he came hither. Is he not here? Isaac, yes, sir. Marwood, thou sayest he's not within. Isaac, no, sir, but 'tis very like he will be tomorrow night, sir. Marwood, how is this? Isaac, would you have him within before he's married? Woody Grim, prithee invite him forth. Say, here's a friend. Isaac, now you talk of inviting. I have 2 or 3 guests to invite you. Let me see. Why dost not move? Isaac, and you make much ado, I'll invite you. Pray come to the wedding tomorrow. We enter Belfort, and Captain Lambert. Belfort, 'tis he, Beaufort. You are my happy prospect from the window, cuz you are a most welcome guest. Belfort, Master Marwood, you have been a great stranger to the city or my house, for the coarse entertainment you received hath been unworthy of your visit. Marwood, 'twas much above my desert, sir. Captain Lambert, I congratulate your return. Beaufort, gentlemen, enter my house and perfect your embraces there. I lead the way. Beaufort, pray follow. Marwood, your pardon. Captain, we know you have other habits. You are not wont to affect ceremony. Beaufort, how? Captain, I do not like his present countenance. It does threaten somewhat. I would not prophesy. Beaufort, good captain, excuse my absences to our friends within. I have affairs concern me with my kinsmen, which done will both return to wait on them. Captain, I shall, sir. Beaufort, now proceed. Marwood, we are kinsmen. Beaufort, more we are friends. Marwood, and shall I doubt to speak to Beaufort anything? My love directs me to. Beaufort, what needs the circumstance? We were not wont to talk at such a distance. You appear wild, Marwood. I have been wild indeed in my ungoverned youth, but have reclaimed it, and am so laden with the memory of former errors that I desire to be confessed. Beaufort, confess, I am no ghostly father, Marwood, but you must hear, you may absolve me too. Beaufort, if thou hast any discontentment, prithee take other time for their discourse. I am in expectation of marriage. It would not interrupt my joys. Marwood, I must. Note that I desire to be confessed. The reader must bear in mind that Shirley was a Roman Catholic, a circumstance which will account for this and other allusions to the usages of that religion introduced into several of his plays, the scenes of which are laid in England. Require your present hearing. It concerns us both as near as fame. Beaufort, ha, what is it? Marwood, we shall have opportunity at your lodging. The streets are populous and full of noise, so please you walk. I'll wait on you, Beaufort. I am your servant. Scene 3. A room in Justice Lambye's house. Enter Justice Lambye and Millicent. Justice, Millicent, where's my daughter? Millicent, in compliment with Master Rawbone, who is newly entered, sir. Justice, oh, there's a piece of folly, a thing made up of parchment. It is bond are of more value than his soul and body, or any man the purchaser. Only wise in his hereditary trade of usury understands nothing but a scrivener, as if he were created for no use, but to grow rich with interest. To his ignorance he has the gift of being impudent. What will he grow to if he live that is so young a monster? Millicent, with your favor, sir, if you hold no better opinion of this citizen, it puzzles me why you invite him to your house and entertainment, pretending affection to your daughter. Pardon me, sir, if I seem bold. Unjust. Some men, Millicent, do suffer spiders in their chamber while they count them profitable vermin. Millicent, but he's most like to scatter poison, sir. Your frame is precious, and your family, not mingling with corrupted streams, hath like an entire river still maintained its current chaste and delightful. Just shalt receive my bosom. I'll soon match her with an Ethiopian, and then give consent she should disgrace our blood. And herein I but try her strength of judgment in giving him access, if she have lost remembrance of her birth, and generous thoughts she sucked from her dead mother. With my care, I'll strive to reinforce her native goodness, or quite divorce her from my blood. And Millicent, I'll use your vigilance. Millicent, sir, command just I will. Not urge how I received you first a stranger, nor the condition of your life with me, above the nature of a servant, to oblige your faith. I have observed thee honest. Millicent, you are full of noble thoughts. Just though I suspect not the obedience of my daughter, yet her youth is apt to err. Let me employ your eye upon her still, and receive knowledge from you, how she dispenseth favors. You shall bind my love the stronger to you, Millicent, sir, shall be ambitions to deserve your favor, with all the duties of a servant. And I doubt not, but your daughter, so full of conscience and care in the conformity of her desires to your will, shall enrich my sight with observation and make my intelligence happy. Enter Camellia. Justel. How now? What's he? Millicent, his master Rawbone's squire. Camellia, pray, is not my master's worship here? Just your master's worship. What's that, his spaniel? Camellia, no, sir, but a thing that does follow him, just in what likeness. I hope he does not converse with spirits. Camellia, he'll not entertain an angel, but he will weigh him first. Indeed, I am all the spirits that belong to him, Millicent, so I think, but none of his familiar, just what's thy name, Chameleon? And just good. Dost ever eat, Chameleon? Yes, once. Just and then thou causest a surfeit. Thou couldst never endure meat since wert ever christened. Chameleon, yes, twice. First in my infancy, and the last time about a year ago, when I should have been apprenticed to an Anabaptist. Just, does thy master love thee? Chameleon, yes, sir. And I would eat gold, I might have it, but my stomach would better digest beef or mutton, if there be any such things in nature. Millicent, here is his master, sir, and Mistress Jane. Chameleon, he'll not entertain an angel, but he'll weigh him first, a pun on the gold coin, so-called, a perpetual source of wit to our old dramatists. In the preceding speech, the justice humorously alludes to the unsubstantial appearance of poor Chameleon. Enter Rawbone and Jane. Rawbone, how now, Chameleon? Hast dined? Chameleon, yes, sir. I had delicate fresh air to dinner, Rawbone, and yet thou lookest as thou hast eaten nothing this night. Here, provide me a capon and half a dozen of pigeons to supper, and when will your worship come home and taste my hospitality? Justice, when you please, sir. Raw. Yet now I think on it, I must feed more sparingly, Jane more liberally, in my opinion. Rawbone, would not anybody in the world think so? Did you ever see two such earwigs as man and I? Do we not look alike, Jane? I think the picture of either of your faces in a ring with a memento mori would be sufficient a mortification as lying with an anatomy. Robin, the reason why are so lean and consumed is nothing but eating too much. Chameleon, now I think on it, let the pigeons alone. The capon will be enough for thee and I. Chameleon, the rump will last us a night. Raw, I'll tell you forsooth, I have brought myself so low with a great diet that I must be temperate. When the doctor says, no way but one with me. Chameleon, that's not the way of all flesh, I am sure. Robin, it is a shame to say what we eat every day. Jane, I think so. Chameleon, by this hand, if it would bear an oath, we have had nothing this 2 days but half a lark. There's no way but one with me. I shall die. That is, this expression, which is very common in our old writers, always implies an inevitable consequence, a moral or physical certainty, which by mischance the cat had killed too, the cage being open. I will provide my belly another master, Justice. Now interrupt them, Master Rawbone Raw. I hope your worship will reprieve my boldness. 'Tis out of love to your daughter. Sir, I have a business to you. A friend of mine, upon some necessity, would take up £100. Raw, upon some ounces to pleasure him. Just is more friendly said than I expected. raw, so he bring me good security, some 3 or 4 or 5 sufficient able citizens for mortality's sake. I'll lend it him. Just will you not take an honest man's word? Raw, few words to the wise. I will take any man's word to owe me £100, but not all words to pay me 50. Just as well 'tis a courtesy. Raw, he shall pay nothing to me but lawful consideration from time to time, beside the charges of the unsealing, because he is your friend. Justice, this extremely can you require more? Raw, and more. What's 8 in the 100 to me? My scrivener knows I have taken 40 and 50 in the 100. These at modus of my own kinsmen, when they were necessity, just as I apprehend the favor. And Isaac, how now, Isaac? Isaac, my master commends his love to you, sir, and does desire your presence, together with your daughter and nephew, at the arraignment of my young mistress tomorrow. Justice, how knave? Isaac, she's to be married or arraigned in the morning, and at night to suffer execution and lose her head. Justice, return our thanks and say we'll wait upon the bride, Jane. Isaac, dear master Robin, I do beseech you, be at these sessions. Rob, thou didst invite me before. Isaac, I know it. But our cook has a great mind that sentence should likewise pass upon the roast, the boiled, the baked, and he fears unless you be a commissioner, the meat will hardly be condemned tomorrow, so that I can never often enough desire your stomach to remember. You will come, Raw. Dost think I will not keep my word? Isaac, alas, we have nothing but good cheer to entertain you. I beseech you, sir, howsoever, to feast with us, though you go away after dinner. Rawbone, there's my hand. Isaac, I thank you. Rawbone, is Master Justice gone, and Mistress Jane too? Follow me, Camillion. I'll take my leave when I come again. Millicent, Isaac, my little wit, thou wilt come with thy master tomorrow. I will serve a bottle of wine to warm thy saint Mill. I cannot promise, Isaac. If I durst stay 3 minutes, I would venture a cup with thee in the buttery, but 'tis a busy time at home. Farewell, Millicent. Mill, marriage is much joy wait upon the brides. The remembrance of it brings me sorrow. The woman has undone me. When I die, a coffin will enclose this misery. Scene 4, Buford's lodgings. Enter Buford and Marwood. Buford, you prepare me for some wonder. Marwood, I do, and ere I come to the period of my story, your understanding will admire. Buford, teach my soul the way. Marwood, I am not, 'cause in the number of those friends come to congratulate your present marriage. Buford, ha! Marwood, I'm no flatterer. The blood you carry doth warm my veins too, yet could nature be forgetful and remove itself? The love I owe your merit doth oblige me to relation of a truth which else would fire my bosom with concealment. I am come to divide your soul, to ravish all your pleasures. Poison the very air maintains your breathing. You must not marry. Buford, must not. Though as I am mortal, I may be compelled within a pair of minutes to turn ashes, yet my soul, already bridegroom to her virtue, shall laugh the death that would unmarry us and call her mine eternally. Marwood, death is a mockery to that divorce I bring. Come, you must not love her. Buford, did I hope thou couldst give me a reason, I would ask one. Marwood, do not, it will soon to arrive and make you curse your knowledge. Could you exchange your temper for an angel's? The hearing of this reason, 'twould make you passionate and turn man again. Buford, can there be reason for sin so great as changing my affection from Gaudiana? Nay, and teach me how to be a monster, for I must lose humanity. O Marwood, thou leadest me into a wilderness. She is, Marwood, false, sinful, black soul she has. Buford, thou hast a hell about thee in thy language. Speaks the devil that to blast her innocence dost belch these vapors forth. To say thou liest were to admit thou hast but made in this a human error, when thy sin hath aimed the fall of goodness. Guardiana false, the snow shall turn a salamander first, and dwell in fire, the air retreat, and leave an emptiness in nature. Angels be corrupt, and bribed by mortals sell their charity. Her innocence is such that wert thou, Marwood, for this offence condemned to lodge in flames, it would be forever cure thy burning fever. If with thy sorrow thou would procure her shed one tear upon me, thou art lost forever. One and armed thus, though with 1,000 furies guarded, I reach thy heart. Marwood, say, Buford, since you dare to be so confident of her chastity, hear me conclude. I bring no idle fable, patched up between suspicion and report of scandalous tongues. My ears were no assurance to convince me without eyes. Buford, what horror! Be more particular. Buford, I did prophesy that it would come to this, for I have had a tedious struggling with my nature, but the name of friend overbalanced the exception. Forgive me, ladies, that my love to man hath power to make me guilty of such a language as with it must betray a woman's honor. Buford, you torture me, be brief. Morwood, then, though it carries shame to the reporter, forgive me, heaven, and witness an unwelcome truth. Buford, stay, I am too hasty for the knowledge. Something thou preparest for my destruction. May I not think what 'tis and kill myself, or at least by degrees, with apprehending some strange thing done, infect my fancy with opinion first, and so dispose myself to death. I cannot, when I think of Gratiana, I entertain a heaven, the worst, I'll hear it. Marwood, it will enlarge itself too soon. Receive it, I have enjoyed her. Buford, whom? With Gratiana sinfully before your love made her and you acquainted. Buford, thou hast kept thy word, thou canst poison all my comfort. Marvel, your friendship I prefer to my own fame. And but to save you from a lasting shipwreck, noble Buford, think it should have rotted there. She that will part with virgin honor never should wed the heart. Buford, several woman going Gratiana, vicious lost honor in the instant when I expected all my harvest ripe, the golden summer tempting me to reap the well-grown ears, comes an impetuous storm, destroys an age's hope. In a short minute, let me live the copy of a man's frailty. Surely someone of all the female sex engrossed the virtues and fled hence to heaven, left womankind dissemblers. Mara would sir make use of reason, 'tis knowledge should rejoice you, since it does teach you to preserve yourself. Buford enjoy Gratiana sinfully, 'tis a sound able to kill with horror, infects the very air. I see it like a mist, well round about, that I could uncreate myself or be forgotten, no remembrance that ever I loved woman. I have no genius left to instruct me. It grows late within. Wait on my kinsman to his chamber. I shall desire your rest. Pray give me leave to think a little. Marwood, cousin, I repent. I have been so open-breasted since you make this severe use on it and afflict your mind with womanish sorrow. I have but cautioned you against the danger of my true friendship. Prosper me, goodness, as my ends are noble. Good night, collect yourself and be a man. Beaufort, and why may not a kinsman be a villain? Perhaps he loves Gratiana, and being my happiness doth now traduce her chastity. To find this out, time will allow but narrow limits. His last words, that me, a man, yes, of my soul, does not become a manly resolution to be tameless, and give up the opinion of his mistress for one man's accusation. In the morning, proper, yes, Morwood, I will be a man. Proper, yes, Morwood, I will be a man. And note, something is evidently wrong, but I know not how to set it right. Perhaps proper may be used as an explanation for good. His sword shall either make me pass the sense of this affliction, or mine enforce a truth from him. If thou beest wronged, Gratiana, I'll die thy martyr. But if false in this, I gain to die, not live a sacrifice.